Hello all, welcome. In this video, I will show you the steps to learn the petal stroke used for painting this flower, and then I will paint it on paper first and then on the glass. Because you will see that the order of the layers you paint on glass will be in the reverse order to that of painting on paper. For example, when you paint on paper, you start from the outside petals. First, I paint the large petals with blue, next medium petals with yellow, next the small petals with magenta, and finally I add the centers. But when you paint on glass, you will do the opposite. You will paint in the reverse order. So you will start with the centers, then the magenta, then yellow, and finally with the blue. Another example here is if you want to paint this flower on glass, which is using only two colors, then you will paint the centers first, then the purple petals, and then the blue petals. I will include this in another video. This will give the kaleidoscopic look when you see from inside the glass. Let's look at how you can paint the flower petal on a paper before painting on glass surface. You can use any paint for practice. I am using Focart multi-surface paints. But when you paint on glass, you have to use enamel paints, glass paints, or multi-surface paints. First, to paint the stroke using double loading technique, dip the brush in water and wipe it clean. Dip one end in white and the other end in blue and go back and forth on the surface in a straight line. Apply pressure so that the paint seeps into the brush. Repeat it a couple of times and then finally dip the brush in both the colors and your brush is ready to paint. First, practice it by painting a straight line. If you see the strokes not fully covered with paint, then restroke over it. Sometimes it will need some more paint, or you can add a little water to loosen up the paint. Practice some more. Next, paint the same thing at an angle. Mark two lines as shown. One is the starting line and the other is the ending line. Start at the first line and end at the second line. Next, assume that you are starting at the first line and the ending line is different and at an angle. So for this, you start at the first line and you have to twist the top edge of the brush so that it ends at the second line. Let's do it again. Start at the first line and end at the second line. So when you start, twist your brush so that the tip moves and ends at the second line. So to make a full petal, first make a V shape and then add a line at the center which is taller than the V. Then start at the left line, move up, and as you move, twist and reach the top edge. Now do the same for the other side. This completes a petal. With practice, you will be able to do both the sides with a single stroke. For now, you can just do one side, then turn the paper and then do the other side. In the final wine glass, when you do it, break the flower into 4 parts and draw a line in between as a star like this. Then from each, think of each V as one petal, dipping it in white and blue, getting the brush ready. Then this is a V as we discussed here before, and middle line, there's going to be a middle line here going up to this point. So start at this point, press down, go up, come down. First, pick up black paint on a liner brush or any thin brush and paint 4 lines pointing to 4 directions. And then, in between 2 lines, paint another line. This will make 8 parts, so we can paint 8 petals, 4 of each color. I am repeating the same for the other glass, making 4 lines, one in each direction, pointing east, west, north and south, and in between 2 lines painting another line. You can check to see if all the lines are of equal length by looking into the glass. If they are not equal, adjust it by increasing the length size so that they are all symmetrical. Cover the base with black. In between 2 black lines, paint a line with a different color. Let's use yellow. Now both the centers are done. Leave it to dry for a few minutes. Now let's start painting the inner petals. I'm using a number 12 flat brush. I will be using purple and blue. First, double load the brush with purple and white, then pick up 2 adjacent black lines and paint a petal stroke. Leave the next set of lines and do the other one. Or you can paint the petal on the opposite side. See to it that there is a gap or a set of lines in between the 2 purple petals. Next, double load the brush with blue and white, or you can just use blue, and with the white facing upwards, paint the petals in the space between the purple petals. For painting the bigger petals, I am using number 16 flat brush. Double load the flat brush with white and yellow. With the white facing upwards, draw the 4 petals on the 4 sides. Then double load the brush with white and magenta and paint 4 more petals in between the 2 yellow petals. For the third layer of petals, I'm using just orange and painting 4 petals, and then using just blue to paint the next 4 petals.